In this video, we discuss about parameter passing mechanisms in functions in C language. There are two types of parameter passing mechanisms in C language: call by value mechanism, call by reference mechanism. In this video, we learn about call by value mechanism. Here we have taken one swap function, user defined function swap. It is taking two values and then it is swapping those two values. In the main function, we have taken two variables a and b with values 10 and 20, and then we are printing before swapping a value, b value, and then we are calling swap function and we are passing a value first and then b value, and then we are printing after swapping a value and b value, and this is the swapping code. Here we are declaring two receiving variables p and q, and then we are swapping. This is the swapping code. The swapping code is already declared in the previous videos. Int temp is equal to p, p is equal to q, and q is equal to temp. Now what we are expecting here, we are expecting that before swapping a value should be 10 and b value should be 20, and after swapping a value should be 20 and b value should be 10. Now we check whether we will get that particular output or not. Now we run this program. What is the output we got here? Before swapping a value 10, b 20. After swapping a value 10 and b value 20. That means nothing has happened. A value and b value remain unchanged. Now what is the problem here? Why we got this particular output? Because the parameter passing mechanism that we have used is call by value mechanism. Now we see what is the actual call by value mechanism. In the main function, we have declared two variables a and b. In the main function, we have declared two variables a and b. Now assume that the location of a is 1111 and the location of b is 2222. A value a is given 10, b is given 20, and then we have swap function. The main function has called swap function, and in the swap function we have declared two receiving variables. One is p and the second one is q. Now we assume that the address of p variable is 3333 and address of q variable is 4444. Now what we have done here, we have called swap function. The main function has called swap function by sending a value and b value. Now what happens here? Now p gets a value. What is a value? 10. Q gets b value. What is the value of b? 20. Now what has happened here? A value is passed to p and b value is passed to q. Now in the swap function, we are exchanging the values of p and q. We have swapped or we have exchanged the values of p and q. That means now instead of 10, now p gets value 20. Now instead of 20, q gets value 10. Now p value becomes 20. Initially p value is 10, q value is 20, and after swapping p value becomes 20, q value becomes 10. That means these modifications are not done on the original values. That means original a value is not affected, original b value is not affected. A and b are actual arguments, p and q are formal arguments. So in the call by value mechanism, whatever the modifications that we do in the called function, this is the called function. In the called function, whatever the modification that we do in the called function, they are affected on the formal parameters. These are the formal parameters. Those modifications are affected on the formal parameters. They are not affected on the actual parameters. A and B are actual parameters. Whatever the modifications that are done in the called function, that means whatever the modifications that are done in the swap function, they are not affected on the original arguments. That's why A value remains 10 and B value remains 20. That means before swapping we get A value 10, B value 20. And after swapping also A value is 10, B value is 20. Why? Because those values are not changed. This is the mechanism of call by value mechanism. This is call by value parameter passing mechanism. What is happening here? Just a copy of value of A is passed to P and a copy of value of B is passed to P. That means whatever the modifications done in the called function, they are not reflecting on the original arguments. But if we want to do the actual modification, then we need to go for other parameter passing mechanism, that is call by reference mechanism. In the next video we see what is call by reference mechanism.